Okay, we are here today with Angela Bost from Let's Go Learn. Angela is the Vice President of Partner Success. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit further, Angela?
Sure. Thank you, John. It's great to be here. I work for Let's Go Learn, and prior to joining this company, I worked in public education, K-12 for 28 years. Most recently as a deputy superintendent, but I've also served as a principal, assistant principal, and teacher, and am pleased to be with you today.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is a very interesting looking conference that you have created that's coming up here in a couple of months, coming up very quickly, actually. And the title of it is Operationalizing Behavior Systems Within the MTSS Framework. That's a mouthful. And so I just wanted to, first of all, just tell you who should be going to this conference. What kind of educators are you trying to reach out to with this content?
Sure. Yes, we are looking um, to reach any educator who is working on an initiative or in program areas where you are trying to address behavior concerns. So whether it's your behavior core, the behavior interventions that all students receive, or it's behavior situations where the students are being served in tier 2 or tier 3, supplemental and intensive support for behavior. And it doesn't matter if the student is a general ed student or a student with an IEP that you are serving. Our conference addresses all of that. If you do not understand what most of those terms mean, that's okay too, because that's actually the purpose of the conference.
Yeah, good. So there's going to be some baseline information that you're going to start off with at the conference. And yeah, so are these behavioral issues something that's pretty topical now as we're coming out of the pandemic?
So I would say they've always been an issue,
Hmm.
something that we have in public education tried to tried to address, but often academics, math, reading, writing have taken precedence, taken priority. And what we know is that until we address um, expected behaviors, or how to help our students with behaviors that will help promote their learning and their progress, then we won't be able to reach them academically.
Yeah.
So it's been an ongoing issue, but I do believe that most of us in public ed would say that post 2020, the issues are exacerbated.
Yeah, that totally makes sense to me too. What do you mean by operationalizing behavior systems?
Yeah. So there's so many ways for educators to access, information about what to do. So how to teach reading, what's the latest approaches, how to implement a behavior plan. You can Google all of that and get it, but when you actually operationalize it, you're making it come alive in your school and in your district. And until you do that, you're not going to reach every child, and you're not going um, to actually implement an MTSS framework that everyone is owning. So this conference will help prepare a school or a district for setting the foundation for operationalizing a behavior core, expectations for all students, and then we'll put them on a path to move the needle with how students are expected to behave, and how the adults in the building and in the district can help support that, which is a really important component.
Yeah, that sounds great. And it looks like you have some interesting speakers joining the conference who have a wealth of experience. Do you want to tell us about the three speakers?
Yeah, so at Let's Go Learn, I have the privilege of overseeing the professional services we provide to districts. And
Mhm.
one of the things I'm very committed to is that if we work with you or we deliver a training to you, it will be delivered by someone who's done the work, who hasn't just written about it or read about it, but has actually operationalized it. So I'm really pleased that the experts that are joining us are actually practitioners or have done it recently. So to include a special education director, she recently retired and works for us at Let's Go Learn. She's also been a principal and assistant principal
Hmm.
and a teacher. We have a behavior specialist who specializes in not only addressing behavior concerns, but also those needs that are specific to students with autism. We have a clinical professor who is also the newly elected president of the Council of Exceptional Children at the national level, and she is a behavior specialist as well, and but works with pre-service special education teachers. I'm at the conclusion of the conference, the last part of the conference. If people choose to stay for that part instead of having to travel back, they will answer questions that the audience would like to pose to them, and really get into the nuts and bolts of what this is all about, and you'll leave with a really great understanding um, of what it looks like to operationalize behavior supports in the MTSS framework from people who've actually done it.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like a very awesome lineup, and I'm sure you'll have some great information there. Um, so it looks like the conference is spread out over 3 days. You want to kind of walk me through the itinerary of the conference and how those 3 days are going to look?
Yeah, so it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, March 4th through 6th.
Okay.
The pre-conference session is being held Monday morning, and that is really aimed at those who either need a refresher or some new understanding, really focused on things like behavior intervention plans, MDRs. Again, if you don't know that acronym, that's fine. That's what we're going to be doing that morning, and that work will lay some foundation for some things that will happen during the actual conference so that we will not have to spend as much time on some of those particulars. And then on the afternoon of day one, on that Monday, we will kick off the conference, spend some time in a social setting that afternoon, just getting to know each other. And then the second day will be a full day of spending time together and focused on the tier one, the core behavior, and tier two and tier three of the MTSS behavior framework.
And can you give me just a quick overview of what MTS and the tiers are?
Yeah. So whether it's academics or behavior, the approach is the same, and they're really similar, but so very different with regard to the things that the student is learning and the students that it's intended to serve. So whether it's uh, math or reading or behavior, there are expectations that all students are expected to rise to, and that it's incumbent upon the adults to ensure that we are establishing that we call it a differentiated core in math or reading and behavior, and then those students who are not responding to that, we know they need something different. And so that's when you move to tier three, tier two, and you introduce additional supports. We call it supplemental supports. And most of the time, all but about 5 to 10% of students respond. But there's always that group of students that we need to escalate it and provide more intensive support. And that's tier three. So whether it's a behavior issue or it's a reading or math issue, if you're a tier three student and your school is implementing an MTSS framework in academics or behavior that is solid and addresses the needs of all students, then you will progress because your needs are being met where you are in that MTSS framework.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that. I've always been familiar with MTSS in the context of academics. So the whole behavioral side of it was new to me, but But it totally makes sense the way you're explaining it, and it feels very intuitive. So,
Yeah.
well, I think you have a fascinating conference lineup, it sounds like, and I'm really looking forward to it. Where are you guys holding this conference again?
It's in Wilmington, North Carolina, which we realize is, kind of favors our East Coast friends. We do have some registrations from out of state. Anyone is welcome to join. But if you take a look at what we're doing or hear about what we're doing and you're interested in us bringing it to you, please reach out to anyone at Let's Go Learn and we can talk about how we can customize this for your school or district because it is really important work and we know we have the solution for your students and your teachers.
Are there any particular grade teachers or administrators at certain levels you're looking to reach with this content, or is it really K through 12?
It is K-12,
Yeah.
and so it's for any educator at any level because when it's implemented, although there are different approaches, just like reading and math, that you'll take for a student who's 17 as opposed to a student who's 7, the framework looks the same, and we'll teach you how to tailor that to your population, even with the tools that are required or will be used by Let's Go Learn and its partners to progress monitor behavior.
Well, thank you. It definitely sounds interesting, like I said, and it sounds like something valuable to teachers of any grade and at any level, whether they're experienced teachers or new teachers. And it just sounds like a great way to optimize academics by paying attention to the behavioral issues as well. So,
Absolutely. Take care of those needs first, then they can learn.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for the explanations.
Thank you.